Hello, everyone. This is Trisha from Great Plains Action Society, and we are here today. We are going to do an interview with Sten Joddi, who is from Reservation Dogs. He is also a native hip hop artist. But first, we're going to play a little clip from Res Dogs.
Yo, what's up?
Why are you coming back?
They asked me.
I feel like it's time to take my success and get back
To the people.
Why don't you take your successes and send some money to your son?
I was actually gonna surprise him. That was the whole thing.
You can't surprise a kid you haven't seen in 2 years. You know, it's not like you've been at war or something.
I am at war, a culture war.
Greasy Frybread, greasy Frybread.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce none other than Sten Joddi.
Yo. Blessings times a million, trillion, thousand. You can hear me good?
Yes, I can hear you good. Yes.
Cool.
First and foremost, I just want to say congratulations on everything. I know you've been working so hard, and it's awesome to finally see everything just kind of unfold for you. If you want to introduce yourself,
Mado.
yeah.
Mado for having me. Thank you. Hinch J, Stongo, Sten Joddi, Jahajufkados. I'm of Arbika Stomp Grounds, my people are, and I'm Karsagi clan of the Muskogee Creek Nation of Oklahoma. And thank you for having me, and it's really cool. So
For sure. So, just if you're tuning in right now, if live viewers want to drop a question in or a comment, please go ahead. We'll be able to pull those up too as well. Sten, so I just have to ask, how did this all unfold for you? As far as like, how did you get an audition? Was it an audition, or how did this come about?
So I'm just like doing what I'm doing right now, and I'm just sitting here eating my breakfast and drinking my grapefruit orange juice. And I was going through my emails like I do every morning before I go to work, and I seen this. I always like see spam, emails and goofy stuff. So I'm just like swiping. I see like this audition. I'm like, whatever, and I swipe it. Like I think it's spam. But as I'm swiping it and it's going away, like, how you can read like the first maybe sentence of like the email. And it just said Reservation Dogs FX Network. So I was like, hold on, let me find this. Where'd I put it, So then I looked at it and read it. And it just said that they would really, like me to audition. This came out of nowhere. I didn't like submit to be a part of it or, reach out to anybody like, hey man, let me be on this show or nothing. But like, I got homies on the show, Little Mike and Funny Bone, you know what I mean? And we've been cool for many years now. And we've even done music together. So they were already kind of a part of it down there as the pilot got filmed and went up to Sundance Film Festival. And it was really cool because I've just been plugging away at things and hope to get noticed. I just kind of put myself out on TikTok and stuff like that. So doing the voiceovers and doing like the old movies that make you laugh and just kind of doing those lip syncs and stuff like that. So I don't know if it was a combination of maybe Little Mike and Funny Bone dropping my name to some of the producers or something, or if it was just flat out like Mid Thunder Casting found me out on the internet. Maybe it was a little bit of both. But it's really cool. It's really cool. And so I showed the email to my wife and I'm like, what do you think I should do? Should I do this? I'm not an actor. I've never done that shit before. You know what I mean? So like, she's like, might as well try. I mean, they might, hire, they might like it, So then after like that initial, I'll do it, and I didn't really know what it was going to be or what I was reading for or anything. And they sent me like a small little clip in actually of what you just showed, that scene right there. And dang, why are you always messing with me? So they wanted me to do that part. And, you know, I guess I did good enough for them to be like, yo, like, could you read this other part too? So they like had me read like 3 or 4 different parts. Then they actually did one of these, like a Zoom meeting, and had me read another part. And then yeah, man, like Sterling hit me up personally on the phone, you know, and was like, yo, what's up, bro? And I'm like, what's going on, man? And he's like, yo, you killed that audition, man. And, you know, we really are wanting you to be the part. So he says, it's not official yet. We still got to talk to the network, woo-de-woo. And so I was kind of just sitting in limbo for like a week or so. And then, you know, that the network actually wanted a real actor to play Punkin. And then, you know, Sterling, man, like champion for me, like, yo, man, you cannot
Yes.
pretend, you cannot pretend to be the guy that he is. Like, you can't pretend to be a Muskogee Creek from Oklahoma and like, and the tattoos and the being a rapper and like, you know, like he's just who he is. So that's what we need on the show. And, you know, when Sterling said that about me and he told me that's what he did, like that was awesome, you know? And, sorry. And so that's kind of how it went. And then from there, you know, you hear all the kind of the horror stories of like Hollywood and like Hollyweird and like how they will, you know, change your what you are, or, you know, just really not open to interpretation or what you feel would be best for the character. You know what I mean? And this is totally opposite of everything I've ever heard about like Hollywood and movies, because literally like the director, Sydney Freeland, she is the one that directed my episode and another episode as well as the video. So when they were asking me about these things like wardrobe and like, what do you think Punkin would wear? What do you think Punkin, like, how do you think the video would look? And they were like, what do you want to do? And I was like, dope. Like, okay. So like me and my wife just like sitting in the kitchen, like just coming up with these things, you know? And I'm like, yo, I think Punkin would be like this. And I think he'd be like that. And, you know, so yeah, I mean, they really were open to everything. And that was just awesome, as well as my family like I'm very my family means everything to me, my wife, my children. And so to experience something like that without them next to me, I pretty much, you know, told them like, yo, I don't need the limousine to pick me up at my house. I don't need the first class ticket. I don't need the whole whatever. Like, just rent me and my family a big enough car that we can get down there and hook up a hotel room, and, you know, so they can be with me. You know what I mean? Because, you know, I've been doing this a long time, and there's been instances where, you know, I'm enjoying that moment without them. And I've grown in my own self to, you know my mistakes and where my priorities should be lying on those different situations. And so I made a big change, you know, a few years back. And so like I'm just super on like, yo, like I want my family to experience all this with me, like constant, like, you know, instead of me like doing this over the phone, like showing my kids where I'm at like this, like, hey, I love you. Like, I don't want to do that. You know what I mean? So I want them to be there with me and be, you know, doing that. So like, they were open to that. They're like, okay, no problem, no problem, no problem. So again, like they just like Sterling and FX and like the whole crew and the whole producers and everybody that was like running the show, you know, like we're really open to all of that. So, and then when the video came, it was like, it was even more like that. Sterling was like, yo, bro, call up all your people and call all the homies and tell them just to show up, you know? And I'm like, hell yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't pretend to be all those people that were in that video. You know what I mean? Like, I know we're Muskogees and Seminoles and we're there in Okmulgee and stuff, but like, I wanted to really show that, you know, we're different than a lot of hip hop genres, and I wanted to showcase that we can still be us and true to us, and we don't have to get the rented Lamborghinis and the rented Ferraris and popping the bottles in the strip club with the fake model women, and like, you know, just disrespecting, like, you know, my wife just so I can get paid. Like, that's just not going to work for me. You know what I mean? So like, we really wanted to show, like, you know, the aunties in the kitchen, like getting it in on the fry bread, and like, you know what I mean? Like real native, strong native women in the background, you know what I mean? Not just this facade of what you think indigenous people should be on camera, you know what I mean? And Sterling was all about it. Like, hell yeah, I get all my aunties in there. Hey, let's do this, bro. And I'm like, yeah, you know what I mean? So that was really fun. And it was really, you know, when I was there, it was more like a family reunion vibe. Like, for real. Like, it was almost like we were just kind of getting together and they just hit record. You know, like it was really cool. You know, I'm a perfectionist in the studio. So, you know, some songs and some lyrics and like verses and stuff that I record when I'm working on music, I kind of get tedious, and, you know, I may, you know, record this verse like 150 times before I feel it's good enough to give to people. And so like, the production team probably got a little taste of that whenever I was doing my lines, because it was like, nope, I can do that better. Let's go back. And I'm not an actor, so I don't know to wait till the person says cut and stuff like that. So I'm just like, I'm reading through, and I'm like, yo, I can do that better. Let's go back. And then they're like, okay, hold on, reset, do this, you know, and they're just freaking out. So it's like, I didn't mean to do that, but that's just like the nature in me to make sure that I get it right. And then, you know, yeah, I was a little nervous, and because you got like 50 people in a little bitty apartment, like scrounging around doing different things. And then when they say like, okay, set, action, and all this, it's like they disappear into the darkness, like, and there's nobody there. And I'm like, whoa, what is going on? So it was really an experience, but like, as well as like Sterling, like pulling me over to the side as I was doing some of those lines, where he could tell like, this dude's a perfectionist. Like, he wants to make sure it's like exactly the way I wrote it. And so like, he pulled me over and he took me outside. We sat in the truck for a little bit while they reset the set. And he's like, hey man, like, chill, bro. Like, just do it how you would do it. I wrote the shit, man. He says, he's like, I wrote it, man. So just vibe my words, but like, say it the way you're going to say it. And so that really helped me kind of shiver those nerves off and kind of like just be me. And so, you know, the very first scene I shot was in the grocery store. And for me personally, like, I can see the nerves a little bit in myself. Everybody else says I did a great job. It's just, I can see them in myself. But the next scenes, as you see, it was a little bit more comfortable. I feel like I see myself a little more comfortable in those other scenes. Also, it was like freezing cold, and they had me in that tank top, man. And it was like raining down in Oklahoma, almost like sleeting. And so like, they had me in these shorts and this tank top, and I'm like, and I'm like trying to say my lines and not be cold at the same time. So that was kind of fun, and it was cool. So like, Sterling and Sydney, like, they're amazing, man. Like, they were really cool and very laid back, and it wasn't this, you know, we have to say the lines like this type of vibe. And I think that's why it's such a great show, because he's really allowing us as actors, I guess, you know, to just be us, because this is the first time anything's ever allowed us to just be who we are on a regular day basis. And so it's like, a lot of even some of the younger actors, the main characters, were even like, you know, I've worked on other sets, I've worked on other movies, and when that happens, it's like you have directors and writers that are like, no, you need to say the line like this. It needs to be this way. And, you know, so they were actually the first time they have ever had a director just be like, just be you, man. Just say it how you want, you know, and like improv and stuff like that. So it was definitely cool to just even be a little part of this big situation that's happening, you know. And I'm just grateful and thankful, you know, that, you know, I'm a part of it. My kids can witness this happening in their lifetime. And, you know, I just got the support of my wife and my kids and all my friends and family. And like, you know, I'm just really thankful and grateful for the whole situation. So it's awesome.
Yeah, I definitely think that we're breaking barriers, especially with like Hollywood. We have these unrealistic, you know, unrealistic view of how Indians are, you know, and
Mm,
it's awesome because I love watching the show. It makes me laugh. It's funny, like everything, like the IHS scene too. I was like, yes, I totally agree. Or like I know, like it feels good to turn on you know, a TV show and it really reflects who we are. And you know,
right.
laughter is such good medicine. So my next question would be you know, how does that make you feel being a part of something that is just you know, kind of like the first, not the first, but like just being a part of this you know, the
You know,
TV.
it is kind of the first for us
Mhm.
here in the U.S. in the States. I believe,
Yeah.
you know, Canada has had a few other shows that were, you know, main characters were native.
Mhm.
And but I still feel like even some of them shows, they still feed into that white savior. And I'm not trying to be any type of way, you know, because you know my mama's white, my wife is a white American, and it's like, you know, I just never grew up with, like all of us, we never really grew up with anything on TV other than like Dances with Wolves, Last of the Mohicans, like, you
Exactly.
know, and the movies that did um put us in a modern light, they didn't really ever get the recognition nor the backing from like Hollywood that they deserved, right? Like Smoke
Mhm.
Signals and Dance Me Outside, and you know, these movies where we are the main characters, we are our hero, our own heroes in those movies. And it's about time for it's, you know, it finally that a native isn't searching for, you know, the Lone Ranger to help him out of his situation, or, you know, Kevin Costner to help us away from the bad white people coming, you know, or, you know, Pocahontas getting saved by John Smith. Like that just, you know,
Right.
it's like we're getting away from that. You know, we're getting away from the Nicolas Cage movies where he's the main character of the indigenous Wind Talkers movie. Like I still don't understand why, you know, Adam Beach wasn't the main character of the story and not, and you know, we're always the sidekick. And
Yes.
they're all great movies. Don't get me wrong. Like I love all the movies. Like, you know, and even though we all know that it's really cringy, you know, now that we're all like waking up, but it's like we all still love those movies. Like we'll still
Mhm.
watch them. You know what I mean? Because that's what we were connected to at the time, you know. And now it's finally uh, it's coming to light where not only this show, but you have like Rutherford Falls, you have Molly from Denali, you have, you know, Reservation Dogs, and it's just going to keep going, right? Like this is just the this is just hitting the cusp of like what we're about to start doing with our representation across film, media, music, um, you know, fashion, and I mean all genres of situations in the mainstream. It's about to come up where we're at that table, and we have that voice at that table. We haven't had that voice at that table, you know, and you know, shout out to like Adam Beach and like Graham Greene and like you know, Wes Studi for like kicking in those doors in Hollywood to where
Yes.
we can finally do these things. You know, Taika Waititi, you know, man, just blessings and amazing blessings to him for just like breaking down that barrier, winning an Oscar, and like killing it, you know, with all of his movies, you know what I mean? And then to like bring the homies with you, you know, that's what you're supposed to do. You know what I mean? Like the homies that's been down with you before you were all famous and cool and whatever, you know, the ones that were there for you before they didn't have to be there for you, you know? And them are the ones that Sterling are looking for, you know, the people that were down with him a long time ago. Them are the people that are on the show. Them are the people that, you know, are getting the love, you know what I mean? And the ones that never showed us love or left our messages on red, and now they're all in the inbox and want to be a part of the show and want, you know, to be, it's like, I respect you, bro, but like, you know, I'm all for native support and natives, but it goes both ways. You know, when you didn't have to support, you could have, and you know, and that's what we're doing. And now it's like, you know, it's time to put that old 1800s Indian away. And
I love that.
we're setting that bar. You know what I mean? Like, you're not going to be able to bring a screenplay or a script to an indigenous, you're just not going to be able to make an indigenous movie without the indigenous director from now on. Like, you're just not going to be able to do the Kevin Costner movies anymore. You're not going to be able to do the Hostiles Christian Bale movies anymore. Like, those stories are great stories, but we need to get as far away from that image as possible. And I think that, you know, the native dying in the movies is not going to happen anymore. You know, like, we're going to be our own heroes. We're going to have action movies. We're going to have drama movies. We're going to get, you know, scary horror flicks. We're going to get all that, you know what I mean? And it's about time, right? Like, you know, growing up, that's why we have so many identity issues with our youth, right? Like, we have so many, you know, the highest rate of teen suicide in America is Native American kids from like 11 years old to like 17. And that's just insane. I mean, I'm just kind of putting those numbers. I'm not sure exact ages, but like, that's just insane to me. That's insane. So for that to like, for some of the reasoning behind it is for them not to be able to turn on the TV and maybe, you know, see something of themselves there. When I grew up, you couldn't turn on the TV and go to channel 2, 4, 6, 8 and see nothing about Indians unless it was like, you know, a John Wayne movie and you were getting shot by the cavalry, you know, and like, it's getting to a point where we're going to be able to do these things and be our own saviors. And then our kids can see that and they can rise above the stipulation that there is no hope. You know what I mean? You know, because now we're going to start coming into sports where you're going to see Native American sports athletes like rising above into the mainstream as well. And, you know, there's some ballers out there that should be just in the NBA as well as the NFL. And like, you know, it's going to happen and we're going to start getting noticed and we're going to start breaking these stereotypes of, you know, and the questionings. This is not only important for Indigenous people to see themselves, right? Like, it's not only important for our youth to see ourselves there, but it's amazing that non-Indigenous people are going to be able to see us in a whole different light. And like, you know, that's the point, right? Like, to get rid of the stupid questions that every now and then we get asked, like, yo, do you guys still live in teepees? Or do you guys, like, can I touch your hair? Or like, you know, it's just ridiculous, you know? And it's like, people don't understand that we live in an everyday society like everybody else. We all have problems, the same problems. We all have possibly getting raised by a single parent family. We all have issues with drugs and alcohol. We all have issues with, you know, wanting to get out of our situations And when the show is happening now, it's really a point that indigenous and non-indigenous people will be able to relate to this show. And I'm glad that it is being shot in Oklahoma, and that it is being shot around a diverse community, because down there we are raised around everybody, and we're raised in public schools, and we experience those things as well. And it's good to put that imagery out there for our people to see us as we are, not as we were, right? Like as we are,
Yep, I definitely agree. So the next question is, are we gonna see more Pumpkin Lusty, or
I'm able to say that this is my only episode in this season. And if you guys really love the show, which of course everybody is, just champion for, FX Network to, greenlight the season 2. And you never know, maybe Pumpkin Lusty shows back up, I don't know. I don't write it. The writers are amazing. Tommy Pico and Bobby, I can't remember his last name, but Sterling and them. I mean, they're amazing writers, and they're just writing who they are. And, I did the best as I could to be this person. And, we all kind of know a pumpkin, whether he's a rapper or not, right? Like we all kind of know that guy. And again, indigenous or non-indigenous, we kind of know a pumpkin, right? Like, and I am totally opposite of that guy, right? Like, I love my wife, and I'm here, and I love my kids, and so, but at the same time, I was in Bear's shoes when I was a kid. So I know those conversations, right? So when I got the script, that's what really hit me, is that, like, I'm not even gonna have to act, right? I'm just gonna be what I know. I've already had the conversation, and I don't know if it hit a lot of you guys in the feels, that last scene, but like even me watching it, like, I didn't see I see myself, of course, but like, I didn't see myself as that. I was seeing myself as Bear, right? Like, that's where I put myself at. Well, as I was watching so I watched it like everybody else. I didn't get to see it before the day it dropped. So I didn't know exactly how they cut it. I didn't know how they put it together. And so when that happened, it was just like, I had that conversation with my mom. I had that conversation with my dad at times where, always something came up, and it's not that, we hate that person or we hate our fathers. They just kind of disappoint us here and there. You know what I mean? And it does hurt. And, you are that kid that says your dad's going to come to the football game or the baseball game, and he's going to come and hang out, or, and well, the car broke down, or the tire got, the tire's flat, ain't gonna make it. I don't have no gas money right now, or it's always something, you know what I mean? And we all kind of know that person. And for that, it's way relatable to many, many people on all kinds of levels. And I think that's why I think a lot of people initially started just to straight hate that dude. They wanted to jump through the TV and smack him around, so I think I did a good job, with that. If that's how people, if they believed it, then I think I did a good job. I mean, I've never done this before, so I always have those insecurities. Like, are you sure I did a good job? I always ask my wife, like, are you sure I did a good job? Like, I don't know if I did or not. And she's like, yeah, you did great. And I'm like, I don't know. Maybe I could have done better, and I always think these things. So, like, I want everybody to know out there, like, it's not sweet. It's not like, I know, like, this big egotistical person that, Pumpkin is. I'm not that guy. Like, I question myself all the time. You know, I'm not perfect. I make mistakes. And, you know, if you guys listened into any of my music or you're just now noticing who I am, like my music it speaks for the way I am. So like if you guys go out there and check it out, you know, then you'll know the real me. And yeah, so
Yeah, so
it's
that was the next thing I do want to talk about is Greasy Frybread. Oh my gosh. So it's stuck in my head. And, you know, there's a lot of people that are, you know, do you get the, well, fry bread isn't healthy. Do you get that? Do you have to deal with that?
well, what's funny is that, you know, I'm definitely an advocator of it being very unhealthy.
You are.
Advocator of don't eat that shit. You know what I mean? But like at the end of the day, we all know it's good. And if you're eating it on occasion or you have it for your birthday or you're having it for a family get together, you know, I don't see the problem in moderation, just like some fast food French fries or something, or a soda on a Saturday or something like that. Like, I get it, but like at the end of the day, you know, I do know what it feels like to be that, you know, overweight native guy that loved fry bread every other day. You know what I mean? And, you know, we just kind of got to get out of that stipulation as well, you know, and understand like how unhealthy it is, you know, and that it is a colonizer survival food. It isn't a traditional indigenous food. Yes, we did make it ours, you know, and we indigenized it. I love that word. We indigenized it. So like, well, that's what we're kind of doing with everything. And that's what I kind of like about music to film to fashion. You know, we can live in both lanes. You know, we can be this modern indigenous human. At the same time, we can still hold those traditions too close to our hearts and know that knowledge and keep that knowledge with us and reciprocate that knowledge to the younger generation, as well as still being professional, you know, citizens of this country where we got jobs and we're doing things and you know, we can be scientists and we can be architects and doctors and lawyers. And, you know, we don't just have to be, you know, a person that, you know, just is a stereotypical person that you think is going to be in native and stuff. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, we're not all on the powwow trail. We're not all powwow dancers. We're not all beaters. You know, there's other things that we all are, and it's time for us to let people know that. And this show is helping with that. And like, it's just amazing that it's really happening and that I'm even a part of it, you know? So it's dope.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming on here. I know you're very busy. Where can people follow you at? I know you have IG, you have Facebook.
So
Is it
yeah, I mean,
Daddy or
music. So just pretty much type in StenJoddi on pretty much anything. All of your favorite music apps. Just type that in and enjoy. I have like 6 studio pressed albums out from back to 2013 to now. And like, all that music is great music. It's just been kind of slept on. I mean, my true fans been messing with me for many moons, but like, you know, all the new people that are just kind of popping on, like, who the hell is this fucking dude? Like, who the hell is this guy? So it's like, you know, the catalog is there, the content is there. So just type it in and check it out. Yep, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook, I'm on YouTube, yeah, Twitter and TikTok, of course. Find me on TikTok. Yeah. So
yes, your TikToks are so funny. I love watching those.
yeah, and that might be some of the reason why I got this show, you know, which is cool. You know, I didn't really know how TikTok worked back then, and it my daughter actually is the one like, Dad, you should download TikTok, and I'm like, okay, and it's actually turned out to be a good investment in my time, you know. Yeah, it's fun. And then I put some educational stuff up there, and you know, like I said, the health journey and stuff, and you know, advocating don't eat a lot of fried bread. It's not good for you. But at the same time, we know that it's still a good food that we love, and we made it our own. And so like that's why I think the song is getting so much play, because it just reminds us of home and like our aunties and our moms and like our family just getting together and having a good meal and laughing and telling jokes. And I think that it's time for people to see that we're a funny people, and we're not always a despaired, desperate, you know, people. Like we are very funny, we're beautiful, we're amazing, we're strong, and that, you know, we are also sad, and things happen, and we have our issues, but you know, it's time to let our people feel like they can rise above. So thank you for having me on here. And
Yes, absolutely. I hope to see you in the future. We are a big supporter of you, and we love it. We love it for you. So
well, thank
we're
you
gonna
very much.
yeah, for sure. We're gonna get right into the Greasy Frybread music video. Thank you so much, Sten, for dropping by.
Right on.
Hey, la. Baby girl look deadly, yeah. Why she acting all rosy? Hotter than a pan of fried bread grease. Having 850 power beats. Got your auntie in the kitchen like, nah, he did it. And got a grandma skillet like she bout to kill it. And you keep creeping on your booty cheeks. You be snagging and you bragging like, who the freaks? Sophie in the burner, hope the head turner. On water, baking powder, chopping up that white stuff. White all-purpose flour, gotta mix it right up. Hit the breads with the shit, they easy right up. Greasy Frybread, greasy Frybread.
Sweat dripping down the face from the stove top.
Greasy Frybread, greasy Frybread.
Slap it go, you watch the grease pump.
Greasy Frybread, greasy Frybread.
Sweat dripping down the face from the stove top.
Greasy Frybread, greasy Frybread.
Slap it go, you watch the grease pump.
Now watch that grease pop, then watch her waist drop. She got that bluebird bag in the tank top. She got that white powder all over everything. She get the bustin', man, but we ain't cousins, man. We from the same tribe, but a different clan. She my red bunny, and I'm a red man. She love my tattoos and my two braids. Fried bread money at the Creek Fest, getting paid on that. Greasy Frybread, greasy Frybread.
Sweat dripping down the face from the stove top.
Greasy Frybread, greasy Frybread.
Slap it go, you watch the grease pump.
Greasy Frybread, greasy Frybread.
Sweat dripping down the face from the stove top.
Greasy Frybread, greasy Frybread.
Slap it go, you watch the grease pump. You watch the grease pump. Greasy Frybread. Greasy Frybread. Greasy Frybread. Sweat dripping down her face, working stove tops.